Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be my April wrap-up, and originally my husband was going to film this with me today, but he came home this morning and he was just not feeling good at all. So he just pretty much showered and went straight to bed. So you guys are stuck with me all by my lonesome, but that's okay. This month I only read 3 books. I'm very pleased with that because 2 of these books were really huge and they took me a while to get through, and I'm sure some of you guys have an idea what these books are. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts and what I read, then just keep watching. So the first book that I read this month is the first book in the Kingkiller Chronicles, titled The Name of the Wind, and it is written by Patrick Rothfuss. And I've seen this book around on BookTube every now and then. I've heard nothing but good things about it. This book is pretty big. It's over 660 some pages, and it is an adult epic fantasy. You follow our main character. His name is Quoth, and he is considered this legend. He goes by many names, such as Quoth the Bloodless, Quoth the Arcane. There's a few other names that he's been called. And in this book, Quoth is met up by this chronicler. He's like a scribe. He pretty much writes down the true stories of legends or people that are considered heroes. So Quoth is narrating his story from his childhood up into his late teens, where he studies magic in the university. So that's pretty much what this book is about. And throughout, you kind of get intermissions where we're back in the present with Quoth and some of the other characters, and you kind of see their day-to-day life. The magic system. There's different kinds of magic going on in this book. You have the magic that Quoth learns, you have Fey magic, you have what's they considered old magic, and the magic system that Quoth learns is very complex. And when I read it, I found it to be very confusing because there were some made up words, and when Quoth tries to explain how the magic works, my mind for some reason had a hard time processing. Since Thomas read this book before I did, I kind of just conversed with him to get his opinions and he's kind of helped me understand it better. That's just me. For me personally, I just had a hard time understanding the concept of the magic system. Once I got through, it was easier to understand as the story progressed. It's very difficult to learn this kind of magic, and you have to be very smart, very clever, and I feel like you have to have a strong mind even, because there are some people that go mad after trying to learn this kind of magic, which is very interesting. There's also magical creatures in this book. There's immortal beings mentioned in this book as well. I can see where people felt like this book was slow in the first half and then picked up in the second. It does pick up very gradually in the second half of the book, but there's so much world building and there's so much character building. And Quoth as a character, I feel like he does grow. He is not a perfect character at all. He may be clever and very smart, but he makes decisions sometimes very rashly and out of anger. He also forms friendships, and I've said it before, I love books with strong friendships, and his relationship with his friends is like friendship goals. I just love their banter with each other. I love how supportive they are of each other. I just love how they just are there. There is a love interest for Quoth, which I found was annoying. If you've ever read this book, do you feel the same way? I did not like Quoth's love interest at all. For me, I found her to be very manipulative and kind of sending Quoth mixed signals and just pushes Quoth away at times, and it just doesn't change. It doesn't change at all. I feel like their relationship just stays the same. It's quite frustrating to read, but other than that, this was just a really exciting book. I'm really glad that I read this. If you haven't read it and you're really into adult epic fantasy, I would highly suggest you pick this up. The next book that I read this month is the sequel to The Name of the Wind, titled The Wise Man's Fear. this, you guys, this took me the whole dang month to read, okay? This is 1,000 pages long, and it's the same thing. Quoth is still narrating his story. For the most part of this book, we're at the university with Quoth. He's made an enemy, a couple enemies while at the university, and there's just a lot of things going on. There's also some political aspects. Quoth is still growing as a character. His relationship with his love interest is still the same. I swear, it does not change at all in this book. It's very, very frustrating. I did have issues with the pacing. I mean, it would pick up and then it would slow down, and then it would pick up and then it would slow down again. And because this book is very huge, I started getting a little impatient, especially during the parts where it dragged, because I just wanted to be done with this book. But that's just the main issues that I had. Quoth just goes on a lot of different adventures, and he gets caught up in crazy situations, very dangerous situations, and it's very interesting to see him adapt to that and to see him try to think of a way out of it. So it's very, very good. I still really enjoyed it. It just took me forever to read, and yeah, I really have nothing bad to say about it other than the pacing. I really can't wait to read the third one, but the problem is we have no idea when the third book is going to come out, and I just hope it doesn't take forever. The final book that I read this month is a manga. This is my very first manga. I've never read a manga before, so yeah. So this is The Ancient Magus Bride, and this book is about a girl named Chise. She's bought by Elias from a slave auction. Though Elias doesn't treat her like a slave, he tells her to make herself at home at his place and that they're going to be like a family. She does have rare magical abilities. She's known as a slave beggy, and he tells her that she is going to be his apprentice to kind of learn how to do magic and all that good stuff. So that's basically what this book is about, and you don't really know much about her magical abilities in this book, and you don't really know the background of Elias other than the fact that he's very old and he's been around for a very long time. But I'm not too worried about it because there are other volumes out, so I'm sure their background is going to be explained in later volumes. This was a very light and fun read. I found this to be very entertaining, and I found it to be cute, and I thought this was the perfect thing to read after this. This kind of read was definitely needed to kind of give my brain a break. I think the characters are really fun. I thought these illustrations was really, really nice, and the only thing is, because this was my first manga, it took some getting used to read from right to left, so that was an interesting experience. But I just had a really good time reading this, and this volume left me on a huge cliffhanger. So come Thursday, I'm buying the next 2 volumes because I need to know what happens. And this is also a very quick read. It's only 180 pages long. I could really finish this in like one day. Alright, so those are all the books that I've read this month. I hope this video was enjoyable for you guys. Let me know what books you've read this month, if you read the King Killer Chronicles, if you read this manga, or any other mangas that you've read that you would like to recommend to me, because I would definitely love to read more mangas. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope y'all are having a great day, and hopefully I'll see you again in my next video. Bye guys!